So my Godzilla is Heisei Godzilla. He's the Godzilla that I always think of first when I think of Godzilla. And the Heisei era movies are my favorite era because I connect on a very emotional level with Heisei Godzilla, who I have here. I have a figurine. He's 6 inches tall, but in movie verse, the universe of where he comes from, he's 328 feet tall. He's a very big guy. Smaller than MonsterVerse Godzilla, but pretty big for that time. So I connect to Heisei Godzilla on a very emotional level, and the movies came out at a very vulnerable time in my life when I was a teenager. Of course, I didn't see all of them when I was a teenager. I only saw Godzilla vs. Biollante, and The Return of Godzilla, Godzilla 1985. Those were the only Heisei era movies that I saw in my teen years. I'd seen Godzilla 1985 as a kid, but, I owned it, so I had it. And then I found Godzilla vs. Biollante, and, yeah. And that movie inspired my Shizilla story, my Shizilla character. But Heisei Godzilla is very aware of what he's become, and that he can't go back to what he was. And he's the most emotional Godzilla to me. Just in the sense of, I recognize it when he's showing an emotion, but other people may not. But, I'm saying this as an autistic person who is very accustomed to being misunderstood and lonely. Because that is what Heisei Godzilla is. He is misunderstood, he's lonely, and he's angry, and he's sad. And all he wants is to just not be lonely anymore. That's all Heisei Godzilla wants, is to not be lonely anymore. And, there was a couple humans that, tried to fight for him. Miki Sagusa, the psychic, my favorite human character, is Miki. She can read Godzilla's mind, and, she knows what he's feeling and what he's thinking and what he wants. And, and she gets mad at people like, you just want to kill him, and why don't we try to understand him? Those kind of things. And, I resonate with that, because I have a friend like that I talk to online, Donnie. And, I say Donnie specifically because he's another Godzilla fan like me. So, when I talk about Miki, he knows what I mean. But I've got other friends that I talk to as well, like Shayna and Tiffany and stuff like that. So, but the thing with Heisei Godzilla is that there's little baby Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. And Godzilla spends that whole movie just trying to find that baby. And, it's an unmutated Godzillasaur, so, he's just no taller than me. Baby Godzilla is 5 feet tall, and I'm 5'1", so I'm actually bigger than a Godzilla Universe Kaiju. How about that? But when baby Godzilla first sees Godzilla, he gets scared. And when Godzilla is looking at baby Godzilla, he sees what he was before he got mutated. And he knows that he's a monster, so when baby Godzilla runs away, after Godzilla tries so hard to not be scary, it hurts Godzilla's feelings. The way he reacts is he's hurt. And it takes Miki talking to them both mentally to convince Godzilla and baby Godzilla that they have to get out of there, because baby doesn't belong among humans. So, they get baby out of there, and then Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, and he's gone and grown up to little Godzilla, so he's more of a toddler than a little tiny baby. And, you see Godzilla bodily protecting him, and you can just see how much he cares about this little baby. And then in Godzilla vs. Destroya, Godzilla is dying of a nuclear meltdown. His nuclear reactor inside has just gone haywire, and his body can't control it anymore, so... And then you got, teenage baby, which they call Junior, and, and that's Godzilla vs. Destroya, so Junior gets killed fighting Destroya, and Godzilla just mourns. He's screaming, and he's crying, and he's just roaring out, and he's angry, and, he just goes after Destroya, but he can't kill him. The humans kill Destroya, which kind of sucks. I wish Godzilla had, but then Godzilla just melts. He's yelling and crying out in pain, and his body just melts off. His flesh melts off his bones, and then the bones melt down. So I've only watched the entirety of Godzilla vs. Destroy about 3 times total because that movie just destroys me emotionally. So I don't watch it, but I have it for the sake of completion, but I don't really watch it very often. Not that I can, it's VHS and my VCR isn't connected to my TV, but anyway. But I resonate with Heisei Godzilla very much because I know what it's like to be lonely and misunderstood and just feel like people aren't listening, and then when you find someone who does, it's like water in the desert. But, I feel so much for him. And his movies were made during the most vulnerable and awful time in my life. And even though I didn't see all of them until later, just knowing that Godzilla was going through his own hell when I was going through my hell, that kind of makes me relate even more to him as a character. But I wanted to say that because I'm going through some crap right now, and life, and it's like when I look at Heisei Godzilla, it's like, yep, I feel you, man. I feel what you're going through. I feel your pain, and if I could do to him what I'm doing to this figure right now, I would just pick him up and pet him. Just like a little kitty cat. I just pick him up and hold him and never let go. Heisei Godzilla is the one that I want to just give the biggest hug to. Or hold his hand or something, Just take his little hand and just be like, it's okay. You're not alone, because I totally know what you feel. And, some people say the Heisei Godzilla movies are a bit silly, but they are, they take themselves seriously, even though they have their silliness. But, they came out at around the same time that Power Rangers was a huge thing, so the special effects are very similar. But what people don't get about Japanese Godzilla movies is that there's stylization that goes on, and that's why it looks the way it does. You got the Monster vs. Godzilla movies, which I do love those movies. I love Monster vs. Godzilla. He's cute, just like Heisei Godzilla is cute to me, so is Monster vs. Godzilla. And that movie is more real and serious in terms of danger and damage. And that's not to say Heisei Godzilla isn't dangerous too, because my god, he sure is. He could level an entire city in like 2 minutes if he wanted to. But I just relate to that. Just seeing that I've changed in ways that I can't go back from, and not all of those changes are good. And there's some of these are changes that I'm working through because they are destructive. Like I relate to Godzilla's anger very much. I very much relate to Godzilla's anger. But also to the feeling of just being alone. Because as an autistic adult, I don't personally know any other autistic people face to face. I talk to autistic people online. But it's like talking on the phone. It's not the same as being in the same room as somebody, So I relate to that feeling of alone. And being different. I relate to that very much, and that's why I love Heisei Godzilla so much, because in a way, he's me and I'm him. And you might notice I turn my head to the side a lot when I talk. That's kind of an autistic thing, because it's intimidating to face somebody for me, and even a camera sometimes is hard. So I always turn a bit when I'm talking to people, and I might look off to the side instead of at them. And Godzilla just looks people right in the eyes like this. He just looks you right in the eye, and I don't have that ability very well. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about him a little bit and just my feelings, because my silly video is going to come out tomorrow, but I just wanted to talk serious right now. But Heisei Godzilla is my baby, and I love him, and now you know why.